Hey guys, welcome to another video from Historic Militaria. Today we're going to be looking at the German Browning high power. Now, I know a lot of folks are very familiar with the high power pistol. Not going to go into a long detailed history of it, but it was manufacturers commenced in about 1935 in Belgium. It had been sort of the logical outgrowth of the 1911 type design, and it was further improved when John Browning died by a Belgian designer. I know I'm going to mispronounce his name horribly, but I believe Saive, S-A-U-I-V-E, if I remember correctly. But anyway, it is a 9mm version of a Browning pistol, and it is a double stack magazine holding 13 rounds of 9mm parabellum. So it was readily available on the European continent. The Germans certainly used it. The British did use them. The Canadians manufactured them in World War II. So they were fairly widespread guns. And when the Germans took over the Browning factory in Belgium in 1940, they continued to make the Browning high power. It was a great gun, so why not keep making it? Frankly, if I had to pick a World War II firearm or pistol to have at that time, I think having a double stack 13 round magazine would be quite the advantage over a lot of other guns, which held 7, 8, or 6 if you had a revolver. But I just wanted to look at some of the markings on these. As is typical, you're going to have the serial number repeated multiple times. So your serial number on the frame, on the slide, and on the barrel should all match. Your barrel is going to have a Waffen-Amt on it, like this one does. And as you can see, just the general finish of the gun is certainly not what you expect from Browning. Certainly not on the commercial level. There's a lot more machine marks. There's just tooling marks on it. Not finished as nicely. Certainly good quality, but just not as aesthetically nice. Also, the tangent sight has been dispensed with, as is the provision to mount a shoulder stock. You just have the standard wood grips, and then you've got your Browning patent, which I just think is amusing that the Germans, took over the country, did horrendous acts, sent people to concentration camps, and were just beyond horrible. But yet they made sure to keep the Browning marks and everything on the guns, so you knew who invented it. That just sort of boggles my mind. But as you can see, this is a pretty nice looking example. And it does have German acceptance marks, Waffen-Amts. This was a WAA 140 marked gun, which is a standard type that you will encounter. And it dates by serial number to about early to mid 1942. So definitely before the war started going too terribly bad for the Germans. And I think that sort of shows in the quality, the fit and finish of the gun. Later examples will certainly be a lot rougher. They won't be as finely made as this one is. But just wanted to give you a quick overview of a German marked high power. Some people may not know that the Germans did use these as a standard weapon in World War II, and they continued to make them in the Browning factory, which then continued to make high powers after the war for many, many years. And certainly high powers are highly sought after guns with dozens of different variants. This is just one variant that you may encounter. And if you are looking for a German World War II Nazi used and marked gun, this is kind of an unusual one to find. Just kind of cool to have. And this is an example of a typical holster for it. Sort of a pigskin, almost what I see in a lot of P38 holsters. You've got your typical flap that opens up, pretty thin material, and your gun would just come out and go into the holster. One spare magazine, and that's about it to say about the holsters, other than this example is dated 1943 with a maker's stamp as well. So that's generally what you're going to find. Still early enough in the war where things hadn't completely gone downhill. Still a pretty nice holster. This did come with the gun originally, so it has been with it for quite some time. The magazines on high powers are oftentimes going to be unmarked, as German wartime magazines for high powers are. Some will have Waffen amps, some will just have maker's marks, and some will basically just be unmarked. There are a number of different variants. This is, the one in the gun is a split tail design, which is definitely of World War II origin. And this one actually does have maker's marks that would put it in the World War II category of a World War II magazine. So it is proper for this gun. However, kind of educate yourself and know what you're looking at. Just the magazine markings are a whole nother video, and I don't have access to a whole bunch of magazines, so I can't really help you there. But if you've got one of these, or if you're looking for them, they do come up fairly regularly. This is a nice little rig that has been together for quite some time. And just maybe some people didn't know that the Germans used this in World War II. As always, remember to like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching.